How's it going? I'm Visionary, this is Visionary Decks, and today we're going to be taking a look at Day 5 of card reveals for the Glory in Navori expansion, starting with our second champion, Samira. Let's take a look.
Take the shot or
Alright, here we go.
Chance.
Samira serves, slashes, and bullets. Alright, so 2 mana, 2/2 with quick attack in Noxus. This is Samira. This is a lot of text to look at. This is going to be a complicated champion. Okay, when I'm summoned or strike, create a Flair in hand if you don't have one. I've seen you play 6+ cards. Wow. Okay, that's extremely easy to level up. Resets when you start a round with the attack token. Oh, never mind. Wait, so she levels up, but then always unlevels the next turn. Is that the way she works? Sort of like a Gnar? That's really interesting, because the whole idea of like a champion leveling up, I feel like kind of shouldn't be this, but it's also like, at the same time, as long as this is not most champions, this is kind of a cool little gimmick to have, where it's like a champion that levels up and then levels back down, and they have to level it up again and then levels back down. But I don't know, for a 2/2 quick attack, this is a very complicated very complicated way to start things off. Let's see how this works. I still don't understand exactly what she does.
Or forgiveness.
So she creates this Flair when she's summoned. There it is in hand. Okay, they didn't even show it. She's got like a weird little mark on her. That's a new follower, the 1/2 fearsome. It's got plunder.
Is this your best?
Plunder +2, I guess. And so that's her Flair. Really cool animation. So it gives her challenger. Maybe they're just like different keywords. I don't know. Sort of like lucky finds, maybe. And so then I guess if you're playing a Samira deck, all you want to do is just play as many cards as possible. So it does make sense. Oh wow. Dude, I feel like I just watched a movie. What was that level up animation? That's insane. That was maybe like the most complicated level up animation we've gotten in like 3 expansions. I don't even know. That was actually kind of cool. It was like a little bit confusing, but also kind of sweet. Reminds me of Akshan a little bit like Akshan. All right, so when she levels up, she's still a 3/3 with quick attack, which is kind of weird because if a champion like levels up and then levels back down and then levels up, levels back down, typically that type of champion will get like a pretty big stat boost, right? Think of Gnar. I don't know, maybe I just like read something wrong and that's not the way she works. I don't know, this is a little bit strange. When I'm summoned or strike, create a 0-cost Flair in hand, okay? When you play 6+ cards, rally. So the really interesting thing about this is it doesn't say the first time each round you play 6+ cards. It just says when. So like, theoretically, you could rally infinitely with her. You could rally literally as many possible times as you want in one turn. It just depends on like how you build your deck. I'm really curious how you can't just break this. Like there's got to just be a meta deck that is both good and also just is able to achieve an infinite rally. It doesn't even say 6+ different cards. I mean, here's the scenario. If everything costs -3, if you play triple Glorious Evolution, or maybe even if you just have triple Victor, play Vault Breaker, which is a spell that just keeps creating itself every time you play it. You will never run out of Vault Breakers. You just play 6 Vault Breakers, and then she rallies. And then you play 6 more Vault Breakers, and since everything is -3 cost, because you played 3 Glorious Evolutions, she keeps rallying until the enemy just runs out of cards to play, right? Which is kind of crazy. Obviously, that's like an extreme scenario. You're never going to play 3 Glorious Evolutions, but just the fact that she can do that is crazy. She's contributing to her own rally as well because she always gives herself a card in hand every time she strikes. So it's going to help you. It's basically like when you play 5+ cards because her Flair is going to be created in hand almost every time you rally. Super interesting. Katarina definitely needs to move over because Samira just seems like she might be better. Like, why would you play Katarina when you could play Samira? I don't know. Maybe play them both for just like an insane amount of rallies. This seems like a stronger version of Katarina. Maybe they're rotating Katarina. I think that would be a great idea because personally, I feel like Katarina is just annoying. If they're rotating Katarina for Samira, seems like a good idea. I do like this better. But if they're keeping Katarina, I am fearing for my life. All right, well let's watch the rest of this trailer. I am curious to figure out like what these flares are. Stylish shot. I don't think that's a flare, is it? Okay, so deal 1 to the enemy nexus, activate plunder. She is a plunder champion for some reason. Like, she isn't a plunder champion, but her whole set is plunder. I don't really understand that. Oh, that's a sweet animation. I love that. Like an invitation to the brawl, maybe? I don't know. It's kind of cool. I do like her voice lines. There's the old timer.
I hope so. I'd hate to waste my time on anyone less.
I do feel like this is such a long trailer. I feel like they've already showed, like, there's Samira, and now we're just, like, hanging around. Like, what are we hanging around for? What are you going to show us, right? What is it? What do you want us to see? Stylish and deadly. Okay, she rallies. I don't know what that is. I mean, dude, the animations for all these cards are really cool. That's a new card. Challenger. What is it doing? +1 to everything. I thought we already saw that. I thought that was the other card, the 3 costs. Okay, well, interesting. All right, well, that's the trailer. Let's go ahead and take a look at Flair and all the other cards that I still don't like fully understand because I haven't had a chance to read them yet. Let's take a look at those. All right, so Flair is a 1-mana burst speed spell. It can only be created by Samira. So this is a Samira thing only. Deal 1 to the enemy nexus or give an ally challenger this round. Interesting. Okay, so obviously, yeah, this would work well with plunder. It makes sense that her followers are plunder related. If she's just constantly creating deal 1 to the enemy nexus, like, plunder is going to be good with her. I also do feel like Nab is not a bad archetype to run with her. Like, if her whole goal is to just keep playing as many cards as possible, stealing cards from the opponent, reducing their cost is a good strategy. Having the ability to give challenger is also really useful. I feel like because Samira is so small, right? She's a 2/2, maybe a 3/3 if you level her up. And there's going to be a lot of games where, like, she just can't attack because the opponent has, like, a blocker with 5 health. Uh-oh, there's a 5/5. Like, now she can't attack. But if you have a challenger, then she can reach around that 5/5 and pull in, like, a 1/1 or a 1/3 or something that's, like, a little bit more manageable for her to deal with. So I definitely feel like this is solid. It's also very good that this is not grant an ally challenger. Give an ally challenger this round, I feel like is useful, but also balanced. All right, moving on to the next card, we've got another 1-mana burst spell from Noxus. All Out. Give an ally +2/+0 this round. Plunder. Give it +2/+2 instead. For 1 mana. That's not bad. Now, you could compare this to something like Elixir of Rage, which is give an ally +3/+0 this round. Also for 1 mana. Also burst speed. Also Noxus. If they're not rotating that, is this better? For most decks, probably no. I feel like this is good in decks that are not aggro. Like, aggro typically does not care about that +2 for health, right? They really just care about, like, putting this on a unit that's going to hit face. And if you're putting this on a unit that's going to hit face, you probably don't care about giving it +2 health. You'd probably rather just play Elixir of Rage and get +1 attack, because it's going to help you win faster. Now, if you're playing something like a Scargrounds deck, rest in peace Vlad, maybe throwing this on Braum would be a pretty solid card. It's 1 mana, +2/+2 on Braum, turns him into a 2/8, assuming he doesn't have any other buffs already. I feel like this could be solid, just probably, like, not with Samira. I don't know. This feels like a card that would be very useful for more mid-range decks. I feel like this is not very much of an aggro card at all. You really just only want to play this card if you're playing for the +2 health, I feel like. Now, it is important to mention this is her champion spell. As a champion spell, this is definitely not the worst. But again, like, I don't feel like it's the greatest for Samira. It's definitely useful because she does like having +2 attack. She is very often going to have activated plunder. So, like, 99% of the time in a Samira deck, this will just be +2/+2. Like, it's very rare you're playing Samira and you won't be able to activate the plunder. And Samira also does like to play with cheap cards. She likes to just be able to play as many cards as possible in a round so you can keep rallying over and over and over again. But I feel like that's sort of supposed to be more part of your deck than part of the champion spell. I feel like for a Samira deck, she might prefer having something like, I don't know, a Pirouette or a Make It Rain type of spell as her champion spell. This is just like an okay champion spell. I don't feel like it knocks it out of the park. It's not insane, which is good because she's already a solid champion on her own. I don't think she needs a crazy champion spell. This is like not the perfect champion spell for her. But again, I think that's necessary because she's already like powerful enough on her own. Probably doesn't need a better champion spell than this. All right, moving on to another 1 mana card from Noxus. This one is Focus Speed. It's an epic, so you already know it's going to be either insane or absolute trash. Deal 1 to the enemy Nexus. The next time an ally strikes the Nexus this round, create a stylish shot in hand. Huh. So, I mean, this is another Vault Breaker kind of scenario where it is just a card that keeps creating copies of itself over and over and over and over again. It's not bad. The only thing with this is it does require an ally to strike the Nexus. It doesn't matter if you've, like, damaged the Nexus. The ally specifically has to strike the Nexus. I mean, I guess the way this works is every time Samira rallies, you're only going to get 1 of these. So this is sort of just like, in addition to her Flair, a card that's going to chip in 1 extra card off of that 6-card limit, right? She's trying to play 6 cards per round to rally. And the interesting thing about this card is it creates a permanent copy of itself in hand. It's not a fleeting stylish shot. You get to keep it for the next round. Also, if you play Samira with Victor, all of her flares and all of your stylish shots forever are going to cost 0. So that means you have 3 stylish shots in hand and a flare. 0 mana, 0 mana, 0 mana, 0 mana. You've spent 0 mana, and you only need to play 2 more cards to rally again. I feel like Samira Victor has got to be the perfect combination, especially with this card. I didn't want to say it too soon, but now that I'm seeing this card, you absolutely run this as a 3 of. You probably run Mimic. Maybe. It's a little bit expensive, but you probably run Mimic. Copy Stylish Shot. I think Mimic creates a fleeting copy of Stylish Shot, but it doesn't matter because once you play that fleeting copy, it's going to be 0 mana because you have leveled Victor, and it's going to give you a permanent Stylish Shot that'll keep replenishing itself in hand. Theoretically, you could get 6 copies of this card in hand and literally just infinitely chain a Samira rally using only this card. Even if you have 5. If you have 5 copies of this in hand, since Samira creates a flare, you're still going to have 6 cards and you're going to be able to chain rallies over and over and over again, which is insane. Maybe like 3 of Samira, 2 of Victor, and 1 of Riven might be the way to go for this deck because Riven also creates a 1 mana created spell, right? Every time you gain the attack token. So if you're constantly rallying and Riven is constantly creating quick attack or overwhelm or whatever the little like blade fragment spells are in hand, and they're always 0 mana, that's really good. Now, I guess the one caveat to this is I don't believe she rallies the first time you play 6 cards. That's only her level up, right? Let me double check on that, because that's a very important detail. All right, so I didn't understand exactly what was happening with the level up now. I think I get it. She does not work like Gnar. She does not level up and then level back down, level up, level back down. Her level up says, I've seen you play 6+ cards, resets when you start a round with the attack token. So what that means is if you play 3 cards and then the round ends and it's your attack turn, you no longer have 3 out of 6, you have 0 out of 6. That only counts until you've leveled her. Once you level her, like, forget about the whole resets when you start around with the attack token thing. She never, like, unlevels. I thought she would unlevel. She doesn't. She's just permanently leveled, which is good to know. But she's still very strong. Like, even knowing that, I mean, it's probably going to take you until, I don't know, maybe turn 5 to level her up. But even on level 1, like, she's still very solid. But I believe that is it for our spells and Samira today. It looks like we have 3 followers that go along with Samira, so let's take a look at them. This is a 3 mana 1/4 with Overwhelm from Noxus, a dashing dandy. He has Plunder, grant me +3/+0. So it's not bad. That's essentially a 3 mana 4/4. As long as you're playing this in the right deck, you're never going to not hit Plunder. This is just the kind of card you only play if you know you're going to hit Plunder. And so assuming that's how you're playing it, 3 mana 4/4 with Overwhelm, it's good. That's a very good card, especially knowing that we have that card that can reactivate Plunder effects This could be a 7-4 with Overwhelm. And you're only spending 5 mana on that, which is not bad, right? Because you're playing this and then the 2-drop. Very solid, I would say. Absolutely the best 3-drop in Noxus, because most Noxus decks are going to have no problem fulfilling Plunder. This is probably just going to be a very regular card you see very often. There's really not a lot of decks that will not be able to hit Plunder. It's just a super solid card, honestly. We've also got a 1-mana 1/2 with Fearsome. This is the one that I saw during the trailer. Elegant Edge. It looks like this is also the follower that's on the Pirouette spell. Plunder, grant me +2/+0. And it is a Fearsome, which is interesting. This is almost like just a better version of the 2/1 Fearsome Spider, I guess. I mean, this is definitely not a bad 1-drop by any means. Typically, you do want to drop your 1-drops on turn 1, right? Which means you're not going to be able to play any cards before this unless you're playing Warning Shot. So I think if you do play this card, you're absolutely doing 3 of Warning Shot. This is sort of just a replacement for Jagged Butcher or Jagged Taskmaster, whatever his name is, the other 1-drop with Plunder. And you know, if you're playing in Noxus, this is probably a solid card. If you're playing a Plunder deck in Noxus, for sure, add this to your deck. Other than that, like, would you play this in a deck that does not play Warning Shot? Probably not. And finally, we have a 5-mana 5/3 Challenger from Noxus. This is Adroit Artificer? I don't even know if that's a word. Adroit. I have never seen that word in my life. I'm going to be Googling the definition of that after this video. When I'm summoned, activate all ally plunder effects. Okay, I feel like this is a little bit too far. I feel like this is a little bit too much. Is it just me? Like, 5/3 Challenger is already kind of pretty good. Okay, yeah, I don't know. So you just copy Riptide Rexes, right? You just fill your board with 5 Riptide Rexes. Then you play this. I mean, I guess then you would just like 90% of the skills Riptide Rex cast would just overflow and not even be on the board. But, you know, this is nuts. This is insane. But yeah, that's all the cards for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 6. Peace.